when Joe Biden said that the uptick in border crossings was just part of a seasonal pattern? The Washington Post said the same. There's no crisis, there's no surge. The administration won't even call it a crisis. Well, it turns out that the border crisis got so bad in this past March, it's the worst that it's been since 2006, since flip phones, since Lost, since Desperate Housewives, since Barack Obama was just a junior senator from Illinois and Donald Trump was just some guy on TV. That's how bad it's gotten. Unlike in the cases of Bush and Obama, the majority of migrants that are crossing into our southern border are not coming from Mexico. Instead, they're coming from the Northern Triangle countries. And unlike during the Trump administration, they don't have the advantage of the diplomatic agreements that made it easier to stop the flow of migrants. So if these were all migrants coming from Mexico, it would be very easy to repatriate. It's a reason why the DHS and Centers for Border Control currently do not account for minors from Mexico in their minor tallies, because they say it's so easy to repatriate them that it's not even worth putting into their figures. So all the minors being tallied are from Northern Triangle or Southern American countries. And the worst about all of this, nearly 19,000 unaccompanied minors comprised the staggering more than 170,000 migrants who crossed the border last month. This means kids in cages, by necessity. Not because the Biden administration is evil, but because legal doctrine demands that kids are kept separately in HHS facilities instead of border control facilities. But because Biden has agreed not to expel unaccompanied minors, it also means that there's a massive human trafficking crisis. And in the midst of coronavirus, how many migrants have been released into the US? Somewhere around 30,000 just since January. And remember, Democrats don't care if you don't have ID to vote. And they are allowing migrants to come in without proper passports. But make sure that you have 15 background checks if you want to defend your Second Amendment values. And where's Kamala Harris been? You know, the supposed border czar during all this? Well, she spent Easter weekend in Brentwood, as in Brentwood, Los Angeles. She didn't even have to go down to the border to assess the crisis. She could have just hopped 30 minutes down the freeway to the Long Beach Convention Center, which has been reappropriated into an HHS center for children. How far is that from the border? More than 100 miles. And that's where they need to keep these children migrants. That is how bad this crisis has gotten.